long time no see. It's been a few months since I've been on camera. Had COVID at Christmas, Christmas Day, become unwell as you do, so I was one of them caught in that COVID spell, and then a few weeks later that went, and then I got an horrible cold. It's been pretty cold as well. We hadn't had no snow or anything like that, and I've been putting some shorts up on there about a purchase that I made. I saw on Facebook a grow on setup that's only a year or so old, and it was £1,200, and there was some fish with it as well that he got from Quenny 450 gallon, and it's Denby Koi pond, and it got a Nexus full setup. So I'm going to show you around that in a minute. I managed to get a few people around today, get some muscle around and get that carried down my garden. Now that is no mean feat, because my garden is long, there is stuff everywhere, it's very awkward, and even though this tank is 1 meter deep, 1.2 by 2, I think 2.2 or something like that, 450G, it's solid, well made and heavy, just awkward to carry. So it took us a good 30 minutes to slowly move it down the garden. So in a nutshell, I'm going to walk you around, have a bit of catch up. The main pond is doing great. There was 5 fish that was in the deal, or was getting rid of, and then it kind of went a little bit all with the fish included and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I got a big chagoy out of it. It must be 70 cm chagoy, which I'll show you another time. And then the other fish was a Sanki that you got from Quenny Koi, and a Kahaku they got from Quenny Koi. I think that was it. Was it 3 fish or 4? I can't remember now, but there was a Tancho Sanki, and there was another one anyway, but I can't remember. So when I went to pick the setup, they wasn't there, so that was a bit of a surprise, a bit of an awkward moment as it is. But he said his daughter or something, some waffle about wanted to keep it. So anyway, I didn't really go there, just thought I got a good deal anyway, because I got a Nexus filter, easy pod. I got a 10k Evolution Aqua pump. I got the 70 litre per minute, whatever it is, Evolution Aqua air pump. So we'll have a quick look, and I'll spin you around and we'll have a good catch up. So there's the pond, doing well. The temperature, Inkbird in there is doing really well. So it come with a cover, a net cover, but it broke it because I had to get it in transport. So but it's a lovely, beautiful day today. So there's the pod, comes with K1 Micro already in there, and as you can see, that is not very old at all. And then what it is as well, there's bits everywhere because we've had to carry it through, but it was insulated with all this stuff. So I've got loads of it, well, a pile of it out there where it was. So there's the pipe, so I think I'll carry that down. Now the only thing is, with this setup, I would have done it with a 3-inch, but he was advised when he got all this stuff that 2-inch bottom drain would be enough. Now I would have gone 3, so because obviously with a bigger bottom drain you're going to get more volume. And I also got, this is all the stuff, so this setup, it did not scrimp and scrape, got really good. I mean, look at the electrical box on that. I think this electrical box is probably worth £70. I've got the Evo 25, it's way too big for that. There's the air pump, there's the because I can't lift everything out at the moment. There's the water pump, 10k. So I'll just carry this down and just give you a, I've got these as well, plastic pallets. Lovely day today, absolutely beautiful, buzzing. So the bees, we've got some flowers coming out, and the Christmas tree is now outside again. Lovely snowdrops, hellebores coming up. Christmas tree is done as proud for a second time. I had to carry it over here, so we carried it over here, come down, trampled all my garden, all my new bulbs. Look, bees are out today, look at them go. They are really making the most of this weather. It's 10 degrees today and they are making the most, so bees are loving it. And then the bulbs are coming out, and there it is. Now it kind of shrunk, to be honest with you. When it was there, he had it like that, but pallets on the side. But that is a decent height for me. So it's got this insulation board at the bottom, 100mm, and then the bottom drain is all put into it, as you can see. So here's the pond return, 2-inch. That's the return, and there it is. So this is a good height for leaning on. I'm leaning on it now at the moment, real solid, all since insulated, but it had all this on it as well, just because it's black, decorative, and it had like a vine looking. This was the back where all his pipe work was, and then obviously this was the front that you could see in his garden. So I've got to decide now exactly what I'm doing with this. So that is obviously the pipe. I'm going to reduce the zoom. So that is obviously, we had to cut it. So that there is obviously the, there was obviously how it was, and so it's a gravity setup, and I've just learned that now I've got it this way round, the gravity, this was the back end. So you obviously had the electrical panel here somewhere, the pump, he had like blocks over there, I think it was, with the nexus. Well, no, it is the right way, because this must be an outlet. Another return there, look. So I was thinking, actually, yeah, it flows that way. So there is, so we had it on cinder blocks, so the nexus will be here, gravity, so the top of it I need to be about here, and then the nexus is going to come up and into this, and I have to put them on blocks. So my filter will be here somewhere, and what I am going to do is this part in the middle is going to be an open area with the nexus in there and the filter. And what I'm going to do also, somehow my gas and electric bill has landed, and like many, it is going to be a shock. It's going up 55%, so my gas and electric bill is going from £200 a month to something like £340 a month, and it's just shocked me. And I'm like thinking, and it's just coincided with me getting this last month, and then a month later these changes are happening. I've also, you know, I've got to mention Russia. What are you doing, Russia? Putin, for God's sake. talking like an absolute, well, I don't know, I just don't get it. It's like, where has he been? Has he been under a rock? Has Russia just not developed at all in all these years? Going off on a tangent now, but has Russia not developed? He's talking like we're going back 100 years. What is going off? If you're Russian and you can see this, do you not want to be in a civilized country that you can share things with like we are now? I don't get it. Don't get it. Must live under a rock. I'm very patriotic myself, and like Ukraine, if someone invaded the UK, I can honestly say I would take arms like a lot of Ukrainian men have had to, and I would wait and and you come down my street, I would be popping at them tanks. I'm telling you now, it's not happening. But I'm also a very open-minded man, where, you know, can be civilized with people. But Putin, he's just not civilized. He's lost it. I think he just lost it. Worrying, absolutely worrying times. So that's going to have a real knock-on effect to gas and electric and all that crap, or they're going to tell us it is, and we're going to end up paying more. So it's got me thinking. I was going to keep these completely separate, which I know what you're going to say. Yes, have this one as like a hospital tank, getting new fish in, treating. But then it's going to remain empty most of the time, because I've treated, my pond's only 2,000 gallons, so I've been able to treat them through that. Now it has got a heater on, and at this size it is easy to heat. So yeah, so I'm just toying with the idea of what am I going to do. In an ideal world, I'd have that coming into the Nexus, and I'd have this running its own setup without heat at the moment. But I'm thinking, shall I come off here, take the pump off, forget the pump, keep that little pumper to spare, so get rid, and tee this in with a valve on it, come along and tee that in to the return of the Nexus. So both returns feed into the one Nexus. Come off the Nexus with a 10k. It's a variable pump, so I can, the pump is big enough for both of these. Have valves on both outlets, so I can then turn the valves on each outlet. So one return goes to there. Look, I could reduce this, so it balances the return to that one and the return to this one, which just basically pumps over the top. So in essence, what that would look like is some new pipe work for this heater. So I'd screw off the two ends, get some fittings, so that would then have to go to the minute it's all 2-inch. So, but pumping, I don't think there'd be a massive restriction, because it's a 10k pump. I think I could literally take that off, get some rigid pipe work, and basically the 10k pump would be over here somewhere, pump off, connect onto that, and then tee off, and then connect onto the 2-inch. Job done. And that would just continue pumping over. So leave the heater there, leave that return over the shower in the same place, but then just have the heater before it, if that makes sense. So yeah, food for thought. So yeah, I've moved all this staging, put it there, got some fittings with it as well. So I've got an elbow that I could put on there if I want to come straight down the side and change the pipe work and stuff. I've also got a socket if I want to glue that socket back on and leave that as it is. Some tails I might be able to use. Some like reducing tails. So yeah, 2-inch boots, got from a local DIY store, and a 1.5-inch one as a spare. And then I've got this, I've had this, I used to have that in there, but I'm thinking of getting some Velcro pads, 1, 2, 3, 4 pads, 4 pads on there, a couple of strips, and then putting that on there, and then just coming up. I've even thought at this point, shall I thread the air pipe? But then again, you won't be able to isolate, will you, if you do that? So that's a bad idea, Keith. Well, it'd be okay if it was going into there, but it's on the straight. But yeah, I'll have to forget that idea. So yeah, lots to think about. But it's a nice, deep, I think it's 1 metre, 1.2, I think it might be 1.2, 1.2, 2.2, something like that. So I've just got to sort of work out what I'm doing. So yeah, I think I'll just put that on there and then pipe onto it. Just pipe onto it. We'll have a quick look at these, what I got. We always like to have a look at the fish. We can. So that's the Buyer Grow and Show koi there, the Koi Diaries one that you can just see. The one behind it, the one that's more red, is the Kohaku that I bought with the tank. Here's the Karashigoi. Sorry about the view, guys. There's the Sankey, as you can see. There's the Sankey. So I got that with the pond set up. I got that nice Kohaku there, both Quenny Koi, and I got the, well, those two fish. They're the two fish, and then a 70 cm Chagoi, a dark browny coloured Chagoi, not the light. There's the Karashigoi. There's my Tancho Doshki. There's the butterfly koi, and then there's the Kohaku Grow and Show. Doing really well. Doing really well. Just get the ear back on before I forget. So you know, they don't need massive amount of air on these. So it looks like the actual air pump, I will take this air pump out that I've got here. I'll probably put the air pump there or move this, I don't know yet. I've got an electrical socket down there. I've got a double socket here, so I've got to sort that out. So yeah, this broke with him moving it, but just got to rejiggle that around, get me level on there, and like I say, decide what I'm going to be doing with the pipe work. I think I'm just going to put the socket on there, glue that up so that part is in, and then fill it up. And then what I might do is get some PP the pond, try and give it a good clean and get this algae off, and then just slowly open this up or get some rainwater pipe and then flood it onto the garden. But I think I will just let this trickle out into this and then just leave it for a few days so it gently trickles under the ground. And that's another thing they have to think of. I'm now thinking about a bit of a building site on here, isn't it? Because there was like pillars here holding all this staging in before. If you have a look at my photo, it had these white platforms with all plants on. So had to quickly get them out, smash them out. There's the blocks, look, there's holding it all up. What I'll end up doing, I think I will end up reducing this section here so this can be walked around, or I was thinking of putting this all the way against there in that space, so I've got more room. So this is all open here basically on this side. I have thought as well, what about spinning it that way, so this is facing this way, so that is purely, this is in there in that section, and then lengthways here, so I've got more space here at this end. And I think that's what I'm going to do, you know. So basically this here, when I walk in, that's what I'll see there, so I can only walk into a space here and then get around to there. So it's like you come in, it comes out 2 point, I'll have to measure it, but I'm probably not going to save much. I'm going to save more here, but then is that space there, you know, because I know this greenhouse is 2.8 I think, so if that's 2.2 and that's along there, technically it's probably going to come out to there anyway. So I'll have to get my tape measure out and see. So basically the width would be there to there, and then that's where the pond would be, and then I'd have just the end, and then have space here to walk into, and then come here and have space to walk into here where the filter will be, and then probably end up having to walk around here like I've been doing anyway. You'd walk around here to get to this side, and then you could lean on the pond side here and look in, but I will see. So yeah, a bit of a mess. So the other thing I've got to think about is, do I want to trickle in? Do I stick with, you know, doing water changes every month or whatever, or like this one, do I tap a T into this, so the outlet here leaking, look, just noticed, got a bad joint, and the bits that have been knocked, yeah, it looks a bit loose. So basically get a T for this, and then the outlet comes off. I've got I've got one going in there, one going in there, and then I'd have to then drill or get an overflow pipe somewhere, because that's one thing he hasn't got. There's no overflow pipe on that, and I don't think there's one anywhere on the Nexus, on the Easy Pod, sorry. So I don't know whether the Easy Pods can be tapped in anywhere to get an overflow on them. And then where do I put it? Like this? This just gently trickles down into the ground there, no problem. And do I do the same here? Do I basically have an overflow on this and just let it drop into the gravel and then dissipate under this ground, or do I put an overflow and hose and pipe it out, just knock an hole in the wall, but then The only thing then, which I'll show you, is it would then be discharging here. So yeah, food for thought. So what do you reckon, people? That's what I'm up against. I am sort of in some ways regretting it, but I'm not. It's just coincided with the gas and energy problem with things going up, and I'm just worried now that I'm going to have that set up, and I'm going to have a new setup here, which is probably going to be running at another one, probably 100 watts. Then I've got the heater, which is big enough to heat both, but then it's the added expense to heat 450 gallons of water. So this is, I think, 450 gallons. Is that 2,000 litres, 2,500 litres, something like that. And then I've got that one, which I thought that was about 500. I thought that was about 1,000 litres, which would put this. Yeah, it probably is actually. This is probably 2 and a bit than that, believe it or not, because that's wider. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do now. I don't know whether to sort of clear this space and then try it, but I think I'll be wise to get my tape measure out first and mark it out and see. So on that note, thanks for the time. If you watch this, thanks for subscribing if you already have, or if you're a subscriber already, please subscribe and hit that bell if you haven't already to see the progress of this, see where we go with it. Yeah, we've got the koi season ahead of us. I do fear for a few people. I think there's going to be a lot of people packing in this year. I've seen a few posts already with people on about energy bills and stuff. It's going to be a tough year, a really tough year, but we need things like this to keep our brains and our minds active, because without it, you know, things can get really tough. But as well, for me, I'll also be respecting as well and be thoughtful that what I'm doing here is almost like a privilege. We're so lucky. Because when you look at TV and what the Ukrainians are going through at the moment, to see that city and the towns in the state they're in, it's just so sad that, you know, they are in that predicament. And I think it will lead to the UK and other nations being more of a predicament as it goes on, because I don't think Putin's giving up anytime soon. He's an absolute madman. He needs absolutely taking out, and I mean taking out. That man needs a bullet in the head. And anyone that thinks he's right needs a bullet in the head as well. We need people like that off this nation, off this earth. We don't need people like that. We really don't. There's no talking with people like that. But the Western world has been happy over the years to buy off them. Same with the Chinese. Everything we buy, we'll buy off them, buy the gas, buy the oil, buy their products. We keep them going. We keep them going. And me, for one, as a last little rant before I go, products I buy now, I'm going to be looking on that badge where they come from. If from China, I'm not buying them if I can help it. So be wary. Look at where you're buying stuff from. Support your local. I'm going to support British. I'm going to support Europeans, allies, things like that with products. I'm cutting China off. And the UK and other parts of the world need to start getting sustainable. Start thinking about where they're getting your energy from and creating it yourselves. We're not reliant on these tyrants. If they want to be on their own, let them be in Russia. Let them do Russia. Let China do China. But the moment they want to integrate, they've got to integrate and be civil. Stop this nonsense. But we are the ones that's got to start that, because it won't happen without us. I tell you, we keep filtering, going on the internet and buying Chinese products, buying gas from Russia through these pipelines that's going into Germany, where Germany are buying 55% of their gas from Russia. Come on. So wrong. And I've thought and known this for years. Anyway, political rant done. So, Koi friends, allies, friends around the world who just want to be in a civil, happy place without all this nonsense. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video when I've sorted myself out. So that was a 30-minute catch-up of all sorts. Look after yourselves, and yeah, I'm not thinking about where everyone else will be in maybe the next time I do a video, because it's quite sad. So let's keep on a happy note, let's be strong. See you on the next one.